Hello and welcome. This is the Astrology of the Week Ahead podcast, and I'm your host, Chani Nicholas. In this episode, we are going to talk about the week of February 13th, which of course contains a little Valentine's Day. And it just so happens that the day after Valentine's Day, so including Valentine's Day, we have like a really lovey-dovey, romantic, bliss out, dreamy for relationship concoction. We have Venus, goddess of love, planet of connection and relationship and pleasure, in Pisces, one of the most powerful signs it can be in because it's said to be exalted there. So we are lifting up love and connection and pleasure and beauty when Venus is in Pisces. And then on Wednesday the 15th, so it's building on the 13th, 14th, and then coming into completion on the 15th, Venus and Neptune come together. Now, in modern astrology, Neptune is said to be like the higher octave of Venus. I don't know if that's true, but it definitely is a planet that erodes boundaries. And in Pisces, it's eroding boundaries to compassion or to a kind of universal experience. So I don't know how this is going to play out, but it's really interesting that right after Valentine's Day and like as Valentine's Day is happening, we're having this signature of divine love or an inspired connection or an emphasis on going for pleasure, like having no boundaries in our way to experiencing pleasure and union. And this will, roll out however it needs to for us individually, but collectively, it does really feel like everyone's a little high on their own supply, like there's a feeling of getting swept off one's feet or swept away with some kind of loving emotion or sensation, or again, something that feels really good. We're all going to be angling towards things that help us feel happy, things that help us feel connected to. And right on the heels of that, so we've got this like bliss out moment. And then on Thursday, February 16th, we have the last Saturn cazimi that's going to happen in Aquarius for decades, like for another 30 or so years. And this is a complete contrast to Venus and Neptune. So Venus and Neptune are bliss out, joy, pleasure, way overdoing everything that feels good. Like absolutely no boundaries to saying yes to, oh, I love it, let's do it. No reality checks. And then on the heels of that, a really swift reality check. But it also is a moment that feels like a very auspicious one to make an oath. Now, we don't make oaths and pledges and commitments lightly, at least not with this astrology, because this is seeding something that is here to last long term. So on one level, this astrology happening back to back is speaking about love and connection and relationship and commitments and oaths and our dedication to something that's going to last long term. So like in it to win it, in it for the long haul kind of feeling. And that's what we need. We need that kind of oath if we are going to make a relationship last long term. Or love needs us to be dedicated to it. Platonic love, agape, romantic love, whatever kind of love we are wanting more of. The one way to attain it is to be dedicated to it. So to be dedicated to the boundaries necessary, we're talking about Saturn, boundaries, dedicated to the boundaries necessary to foster love. And we don't just like get to feel love and then that's it. We have to build trust. We have to build connection, we have to lay the foundation and show people who we are in good times, in hard times, in stressful times, in times where we make mistakes, in times where we try to make amends. We have to show each other who we are through thick and thin and ups and downs. And the only way to really do that is to make a commitment, is to say, okay, no matter what, I'm going to show up with this intention. And if my impact is different than my intention, then I'm going to rethink what I'm doing and I'm going to adjust as necessary. But I'm dedicated to fostering conditions where love can thrive. And that's the mix of these two things happening back to back. Again, they're also like a bliss state and a reality check. So we might feel a little swept away at the beginning of the week, and then come, Thursday, we might feel like an abrupt, swift change. And again, a little check from life or the universe at large. So again, this is the last time that Saturn and the Sun are going to make what we call a cazimi in Aquarius for a really long time. This is important because Saturn rules Aquarius in the traditional system. And so when a planet is in its own sign, it has its own resources, it has its own power and strength, we could say, or it has access to its own power, strength, and resources. And when a planet goes through a passage with the sun, it goes into the heart of the sun, comes out, it's going through a kind of purification or a cleansing. And it is also akin to a new moon. It's a cycle that's beginning with the sun. It's a conjunction with the sun, just like the sun and moon make, and it's a really special condition. And so because Saturn is also in a sign that it rules, and it's the last time this is going to happen for many, many, many years, this is such a potent moment to make a commitment. Now, whatever that is for you, obviously we don't want to make commitments that we're not fully aligned with. So one thing that we can always do is make a commitment to ourselves, make a commitment to our growth, make a commitment to something that we are hoping to bring forth into the world. And this Thursday and the end of this week, I'd love for you to think on that. I'd love for you to consider the ways in which you could commit a little deeper to yourself, to your dreams, to maybe a relationship. Maybe it's to your relationship with your resources and your talents. Maybe it's an actual relationship to a human being. Maybe it's a relationship to the outer world or to your public life. Maybe it's a relationship to community. Wherever this is happening for you, and we go through this in your sign readings in the Chani app, but wherever this is happening for you, it's really potent medicine to think about how I can clarify my dedication to this area of my life or to myself and to the ways in which I want to show up, to the ways in which I want to be in integrity, and to the things that I'll have to give up in order to commit to this, right? So commitment is like, I'm saying yes to this, and therefore I'm saying no thank you to all this. Doesn't mean I don't love it or wouldn't, it would be cute, but this is what I'm committed to. This is what I'm making an oath to. This is what I'm dedicated to. And having that kind of clarity, even if it's just with a small thing, is what helps us move towards, with greater certainty, as Aquarius would like us to, what we actually want. So it's about defining what we want and committing to it and making an oath to it. And this week's astrology is just so potent for that. I mean, we can do that any day of the week at any point in our life. And when there's a sign up in the heavens that says, oh yeah, this is it, like I'm going to back you up, or this astrology is kind of signaling that this is the perfect time to do so, then, my job is to relay that message, and I will definitely be working with this piece of astrology because, again, it's the last moment for these two. Saturn is about to change signs. A lot of stuff is going to be happening in March. March is one of the big changes in 2023. Saturn changes sign, Pluto changes sign, and after 7 months, Mars finally leaves Gemini, and that all happens in March. So this is that last moment. This is also a really good time to reflect on, and this is what we did in your readings this week, what it's meant to have Saturn in Aquarius for you. Saturn has been in Aquarius since March of 2020. It has been a definitive marker in all of our psyches because we all went through a pandemic starting in March of 2020. Of course, it started earlier, but by then we all knew the deal. So that's been Saturn's transit in Aquarius. It began officially in March of 2020. It left for a little bit, but pretty much it's been in Aquarius since March of 2020. So since then, what have you been able to define for yourself? And what did this whole time period teach you? Now we get to kind of take those lessons and crystallize them into something and hopefully, again, make a promise, make an oath, make a commitment to ourselves because of all we've learned since that time. And for all of the Saturn and Aquarius babies, this is the end of your Saturn return. As soon as Saturn moves into Pisces in March, you will be officially done your Saturn return. So this moment is also like, okay, what have I learned in these 30 years? What did I learn from my Saturn return? How can I kind of bring that down into a promise to myself to plant in this ground at this point in my life and say, this is a lesson I don't need to learn again. Thank you very much. I'm going to make a commitment to myself with it and move into a new chapter of my own authority and my own maturity. Because that, at the end of the day, is what Saturn always wants for us and also from us. After that, we have a few cute little things that are happening. One, on Friday the 17th, Mercury is making a sextile to Jupiter. This helps us to have some good conversations and give and receive some exciting news, or at least like mind-opening news, something that helps us to broaden our scope of awareness. On the 18th of February, we move into Pisces season. Here we are. We're in Pisces season, and on the 19th, Venus in Pisces still will make a sextile to Pluto right before the new moon. Now, the new moon's going to happen at 11:06 p.m. Pacific time. So we're going to talk about the new moon next week in the next recording. And Venus is also going to leave Pisces. So there's a new beginning starting next Sunday, and there's a giant leap that Venus is going to make starting the 19th/20th of February, depending on your time zone. And that's a whole other story that we're going to get into next week. But for now, what I would love you to do is bliss out to the best of your ability. Use the beginning of the week to find your flow, to take note of the parts of your life that are working, that help you to feel connected to something bigger, because that's that Venus, Neptune kind of moment. Who can you express love to? Who can you send love notes to? Please, please, please tell your people you love them, you appreciate them. Imagine living in a world where we were focused on a collective experience of love and connection. And then think about, for Thursday, what it is you want to commit to, what it is you're clear about, and what it is you're ready to make an oath to. Come back here next week and we will talk about this new moon in Pisces and Venus's entrance into Aries. It's going to be really exciting. Thank y'all for leaving reviews in the App Store. I know it takes a lot of time and we genuinely, deeply appreciate the effort. I wanted to read one to you. It's called Chani to the Rescue. If you're feeling lost and unsure what is happening in your life or how to go about things, then look no further. Chani is here to give guidance on how the celestial bodies are affecting our lives and how we can best navigate through the peaks and valleys. giving us perspective on how to approach certain situations and how to keep our hearts and minds open to what is for our greatest good. I am baffled and amazed by her accuracy of what is happening in my life, to the point I will screenshot her readings and send to friends like, can you believe she knew this would happen? Her knowledge and expertise knows no bounds, and we are collectively grateful for her and the platform she has built. All right, y'all, that is the reading. Sending you so many Venus and Neptune blessings. May you bliss out. And also so many Saturn cazimi moments of clarity. Bye for now.